The truth shatters all that you know to be true and liberates you at the same time. But most people don't want the truth. They need comfort and validation. They love to wrap their delusions in cuddly fairy tales. Then you walk through the door with an honesty that is merciless, but at the same time unrepentant. A glance, a fleeting sentence, sometimes even your presence without saying anything, shatters their meticulously constructed world. You are no ordinary spiritual nomad. Those around you secretly sense that you are both a source of inspiration and the change itself. This either draws them to you or scares them away, because we know that you are the trigger. You are a force that quickly confronts people's egos, shakes them to the core, and confronts them with inevitable cognitive dissonance. And the world has rarely seen a spiritual OG work like this before. Before I go any further, I have a question for you. If this message resonated with you and you think it is for you, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. You are a destructor. You are like a living ego death. You are not only a chosen one, because you are the change itself, but you are also a powerful catalyst in humanity's own journey of awakening. If you are here, it is no coincidence that you are at the very center of this spiritual war. Remember, it all started when you sold them your magic lamp. While they eagerly cling to the light that this lamp promises, they do not yet know that they cannot escape the glare of the raw truth within. Your presence is a key that both pushes their limits and liberates them. So buckle up, because this is a journey far beyond a typical love and light sermon. You have been chosen for this battle, and now the time has come. First of all, most people despise their own reflection, and your presence is a mirror. When you appear, people see themselves in a way they have never seen themselves before, not only you. And this is a problem for the majority. Your existence functions as a mirror, but not in a flattering or deforming way. Rather, it reflects everything, including wrongs, insecurities, unhealed wounds, and beauty. It is just who you are. It is not something you do on purpose. But people can still react to you as if you have done something to them. They begin to feel vulnerable, exposed, and almost naked in your presence. Aspects of people that they have been hiding for years under relationships, achievements, false confidence, or outright illusions begin to cry out for recognition. And instead of facing them, they turn their backs on you. They describe you as intimidating, challenging, excessive, or even arrogant. Some people withdraw without giving reasons. You become the antagonist in a fairy tale that is never about you, because some people project their discomfort onto you. People either adore you or hate you for this. Whether you donate $100, $200, or more, your support will enable us to share these words of love, hope, and faith with the world. There is rarely a middle ground. Your presence will be exciting for those who are ready to move forward. They will feel uncomfortable but grateful, challenged but inspired. But people still living in delusions will reject you, attack you, and even try to destroy you in order to escape the mirror you show them. The worst thing is that you don't need to talk. It is about who you are, not what you do. Your honesty, sincerity, and unwillingness to compromise exposes the lies in others. Therefore, they cannot ignore you. That's why your mere presence disturbs their peace of mind. By entering 33, you can claim these benefits, which will lead to more opportunities in your life, such as professional success, financial success, business success, health, and all your heart's desires. However, never dim the light to comfort them. If they cannot cope with their own reflection, that is their struggle, not yours. Secondly, you were not created to stroke egos. You were created to shatter illusions. Making people feel good about their cozy little dreams is not why you were put here. Experience what it is really like to be chosen. You are not alone on this journey. If you believe deep down inside that you are chosen, you are in the perfect spot. By choosing to join, you can further your relationship with us, access exclusive information, and get the help you need on your spiritual journey. It's not just about joining a group. It's about gaining access to special insights that can change your life and help you get closer to your divine purpose. Make your decision now and join us on this journey. Claim your right to be one of the chosen ones. Sign up today. It is impossible to ignore the power you have. You were not sent to keep the peace by lying or hiding the truth. You were created to dispel illusions, expose falsehood, and reveal the truth, even if it is painful, unpleasant, or causes you to be despised by others. The majority of individuals live in an artfully crafted mental bubble, the result of personal denial, cultural expectations, and programming from infancy. They convince themselves that their ideas are correct, that they are in control, and that they have a grasp of the universe. Then, because you exist outside this illusion, you show up and ruin everything. Not because you want to. You make people reevaluate not only the ideas they had before, but everything they believe to be true. The bitter truth is that most individuals would rather defend the false than face the truth. They will fight you. They will deceive you. They will misrepresent you and portray you as the problem because it is too much for them to accept that you are right, and that their whole worldview may be based only on fear and fairy tales. People want comfort with a dash of self-improvement, not real change. They seek inspiration rather than deconstruction. They want you to inspire them instead of forcing them to face their shortcomings. But you are not made for platitudes and meaningless support. Whether people like it or not, you are designed to awaken them. They also realize that you are not here to win people over when you talk, act, and refuse to play the game everyone else is playing. You are here to change things. They don't have to agree with you. They don't even have to understand you. However, when you destroy an illusion, it never comes back completely, so they will always remember you. Third, they are afraid of you because you are proof of the imperfections of the system. You are a living example of how flawed the system is. The idea that individuals have to follow the script to succeed is a myth that is exposed the moment you defy expectations, refuse to conform, and thrive anyway. People are indoctrinated from an early age to conform, to fit in, and to adhere to the unwritten norms of society. You can be rewarded if you go to school, get a job, follow instructions, and don't ask too many questions. But there is also you. Their formula has not been followed by you. You refuse to give in to the illusion of security, power, or sovereignty. And yet you are still standing, not only succeeding, but thriving. People are already uncomfortable with this. Your presence is dispelling the myth that success comes through obedience. It shows individuals that thinking independently and not following the crowd leads to freedom, clarity, and power. This truth is frightening for those who have been trapped by the system all their lives. Because if you are right, they have been deceived. It means that everything they have given up, the jobs they hated, the laws they obeyed, and the versions of themselves they killed to fit in, was in vain. Your Heavenly Father is opening the door of blessings for you, so enter 77 if these words are for you. This kind of insight? Most individuals cannot cope with it, so instead of embracing the truth, they oppose it. They label you as dangerous, irresponsible, and arrogant. Since accepting your reality forces them to doubt their own reality, they try to discredit you, make fun of you, or pretend you don't exist. Only when people believe in the system will it work. Others are forced to face a reality they should never have seen. They were never free anyway. But when someone like you appears, someone who lives outside the illusion and refuses to submit, it forces them to do so. And what about this? That's why you are a threat. The fourth is that individuals try to destroy things that are beyond their control. For some individuals, the only way to feel powerful is to have control. They use guilt-tripping, intimidation, and manipulation to get what they want from other people. They are used to getting what they want through emotional games, intimidation, or prestige, and they are used to others giving in under pressure. But then there is you. You do not give in. You don't break down. And they go crazy for that. They try to win you over first. They will test the waters to see if they can impress you with false admiration, flattery, or promises. If that doesn't work, they try to get you to question yourself, using passive-aggressive comments, subtle guilt trips, and other strategies. At that point, they become hostile because they now see you as a problem they cannot solve. Many people in the world gain power by exerting control over others. When they see someone like you, who thinks independently, who doesn't allow manipulation and doesn't need permission to move forward, they get scared. They are not just uncomfortable, they are really uneasy. Because if they cannot control you, they cannot predict you. Moreover, if they cannot predict you, they cannot control you. That's where the real attacks start. They will portray you as the bad guy. They will play the victim. They will spread lies and distort your statements. They will try to turn others against you, isolate and wear you down. Not because you have done anything wrong, but because they need to break you to show that no one is out of their control. The truth is that they cannot destroy what they do not have. First of all, you have never been under their authority. Also, the more they try, the more their own weaknesses become apparent. You are not dangerous, therefore they are not afraid of you. You are free, therefore they fear you. Moreover, nothing frightens a manipulator more than an uncontrollable person. Fifth, even if someone needs ego death, not everyone wants it as a gift. The concept of ego death may seem profound, even mystical, until you realize that it actually means the destruction of all the false things on which the individual bases his or her identity. Losing the false sense of self that gives one comfort is more important than getting rid of an outdated way of thinking. What about comfort? Truth is not what most people are addicted to. When you come into someone's life, you force change rather than encourage it. Because of you, they begin to doubt what they were sure of. You upset their carefully constructed self that they have taken for granted for years. You hold up a mirror and they realize all the wrongs they have been living in. This is terror, not knowledge. The sad truth is that most individuals would rather stay in bed than face the death of their perceived self. Instead of enduring the agony of learning, they would rather maintain a false identity. They only want enough personal growth to feel better about their dysfunction. They are not looking for real change. They want progress without sacrifice, insight without suffering, and spirituality without commitment. Ego death. They need everything. Therefore, when you try to awaken them, they resist. They resist. They accuse you of being overly passionate, cold, or arrogant. This is because you are right, and they are not ready for it, not because you are wrong. Deep down, they know that when they really wake up, there is no going back. So they will fight to maintain their illusion. Nobody is being awakened by you. You are just being, and you are destructive just by being here. However, not everyone can handle you. Some will leave you. Some will get angry with you. Some will continue to pretend they've never met you. And that's okay. For those who are really ready, they will refuse to run away. They will accept the consequences, let go of their old selves and move into the real world. You should spend your efforts for them. If you feel inspired, consider making a large gratitude donation of $50 or $100 to this channel. Your donations enable us to continue sharing these divine teachings with the world and bring blessings, love, and hope to those who need it most. The sixth is that you are here to be experienced, not to be understood. People go through life trying to categorize things, to give names to what they see, and to make sense of the unknown. But what about you? They don't recognize any category that you fall into. You are unpredictable, difficult to define, and certainly not something they can categorize. They are uncomfortable with that, because when people don't understand something, they tend to take it apart or put it in a box. They try to make sense of you by analyzing, examining, and questioning you. But no matter how hard they try, they realize that you are not made to be understood. You are not a puzzle with an answer. They cannot solve your formula. You are an experience. This means that for some individuals, you will be exciting, like entering a new realm that they are not aware of. For others, you will be upsetting, as being around you forces others to live outside their comfort zone and standard logic. When people can't categorize you or describe you in a way that makes sense to them, they assume the problem is with you. They will accuse you of being unstable, inconsistent, and perhaps contradictory. But they don't understand that you are flexible, not fixed. You change in real time. You don't cling to your past selves to appease others. You are guided by a force that defies truth, intuition, and reason. As a result, people will misinterpret you over and over again. They will try to understand you by projecting their own prejudices onto you, only to be proven wrong when you act in a way they did not anticipate. But that is the point. You were never designed to be solved. You were designed to be experienced, felt, and remembered. So let them be confused. Don't let them define you. It is not your responsibility to make yourself acceptable. Their world is not where you belong. You are here to shake things up. Seventh, to those who are addicted to lies, your silence looks like an attack. Silence is supposed to be soothing, but when it comes from you, it looks like a threat. People don't realize that something as simple as your unwillingness to participate, your lack of response, or your absence can have a greater impact than any disagreement, conflict, or outburst of words. They are used to noise, constant explanations, chatter, and distractions. They depend on it to distract themselves from reality. However, when you stop talking, whatever they were running away from comes out with them. You see, most people are not really interested in reality. What they want is entertainment. They love arguments where nobody really comes out victorious. They want constant distractions that prevent them from examining themselves in the mirror. And when you stop giving them what they expect, when you stop defending yourself, or arguing or softening your reality to make it easier for them to accept, they panic. Because all that is left today is reality. And it is reality that they avoid. Therefore, your silence seems more like an attack than not being noticed. It takes away their defenses, their explanations, and their capacity to distort the facts. If someone doesn't want to play the game, they cannot argue with them. They cannot control someone who just walks away. They have to live with themselves because of your silence. And for some people, that is the most intolerable thing in the world. They ignore you. They claim you are not interested. They will try to provoke you in order to get a response, because if they can throw you back into chaos, they can avoid facing the reality you left behind. But the truth does not change, and they know it in their hearts. This is why your silence has great power, because it is more than a simple void. It is a mirror. And some people would rather break the mirror than face what is looking back at them. The eighth reason why you are chosen is that you know how to burn without becoming ashes. Most individuals are afraid of disappearing. They do their best to stay the same, to cling to familiarity and avoid change. The thought of losing themselves, falling apart, or having to start again terrifies them. And what about you? You have been through hell so many times that you are no longer afraid of the flames. Instead of just surviving, you become fire. You are created by pain, not broken by pain. When life tries to bury you, you always dig yourself out of the pit. Every time someone belittled you, you showed them how wrong they were. In every setback, betrayal, and painful moment when others would have given up, you changed. This is what sets you apart from others. That is why you were chosen. You see, change is seen as endearing by most people. They believe that everything will fall into place in a graceful and easy process. But real change starts with destruction. Anything that is weak, Anything that is not right, anything that cannot withstand the strain, is burned away. And you don't disintegrate in that kind of heat, as most people do. You let it shape you, harden you, and turn you into something that cannot be broken. That's why people don't understand you. They see your strength and determination, and they think everything is easy. They don't realize how many times you had to lose yourself to discover yourself. They are unaware of the hard nights you have had, and how you refuse to give up in the worst of times. They are always waiting for you to break. This time, they won't be able to come back, they keep thinking. But every time you get back up, you become stronger, smarter, and sharper. Fire builds you up. It doesn't destroy you. And that is exactly why you have been chosen. Because no matter how much you burn, no matter what life brings you, you never turn into ashes. You keep coming back stronger than before. The ninth is that your presence changes time zones. Most individuals live their lives automatically, according to a script they never wrote. The days are different, but the cycles, decisions, and blind spots are the same. They don't question it because they don't even realize that there is something to question. But then, you come there and suddenly nothing makes sense. You are directing people's lives. You are just not getting into it. Just being around you is enough for them to start realizing the holes in the delusion they are living in and to loosen something inside them. Some were not supposed to wake up. They were meant to stick to their training and continue to imitate the behavior of their ancestors. However, fate had other ideas. You have been sent by fate. You are playing with time frames. You cause others to pause before making the same old mistake. You sow seeds of doubt in their long-held beliefs. A single encounter with you, a single conversation, or a single moment can influence them to start taking alternative decisions. They may not even realize it at first, but something changes. Maybe they stop putting up with a terrible relationship. Maybe they finally break free from the vicious cycle of self-destruction. Maybe they start asking the hard questions they used to avoid. Whatever it is, it changes their course. And this is not appreciated by everyone. Some will resent you. They will blame you for the restlessness and turmoil that accompanies awakening. Yet in their hearts, they know that you have not changed them. You have only reminded them of their choices. That is what sets you apart from others. You change people's paths. You don't just influence them. You change the course of events and take lives that should have remained dormant. Besides, once someone meets you, they can't go back to the way they were. Whether they like it or not, their destiny has already changed. They will never be the same. The 10th is that you can look through them like glass. Most people use deception to get by. They hide their true selves behind carefully constructed identities, wear masks, and say convenient things. They present half-truths, manipulate and lie, assuming that no one will notice. In most cases, they are right, but not in your case. You can see through it. How you feel is much more important than what others say or how they look, because you read more than what they say. You read their goals, their energy, the pauses in their speech, the change in their breathing, and the spaces between their sentences. You can tell when someone is lying without any evidence. The weight of secrets can be felt without confession. Even if someone smiles in your direction, their spirit speaks louder than words. That is why you pose a problem. You are a walking disorder in a society where people use deception as money and illusion to get ahead. The show cannot fool you. You don't let kind comments hide your resentment. You know when someone's behavior doesn't match their energy and you speak up. This is why people annoy you. They realize that you see them on some level. Not only the person they present to the outside world, but also the parts they bury, like their fears, worries, and hidden agendas that they don't even admit to themselves. You cannot be fooled by them. They are afraid of that. So people try to either discredit you or avoid you. They claim that you overthink everything, that you are overly passionate and paranoid. However, deep down they know that you are right. All they want is for you to be so, too. The world would rather be misled than exposed. However, you were never meant to be among the blind. You were created to see. This makes you one of the most deadly creatures in a world full of illusions. 11th, you carry the vision of the future and the ancestral anger. There is a fire within you that was not created by you. This fire is old, inherited from spirit, memory, and blood. It carries the pains, struggles, and unfinished tasks of those who came before. But unlike them, you are here to complete the task that has been started. You are the reckoning of your ancestors, not just a byproduct. Your anger is not irresponsible, but justified. It is the voice of ancestors who have been silenced, of people who have been beaten, destroyed, or forced into submission. It is the unspoken sorrow of generations who never got to see the justice they fought for realized. However, you are not constrained by the past like others. You see beyond it. You act in a unique way. Where they were imprisoned, you escaped. You have spoken where others have remained silent. And that is why you are dangerous. Because you connect the past to the future, instead of just carrying it. You represent growth, time-honed insight, and the fusion of ancient understanding with fresh strength. Although you respect the past, you are not bound by it. You take what is incomplete and transform it into something unstoppable. This is why the world is confused how to deal with you. You do not belong to any of their groups. You are too down-to-earth to be pure, and too progressive to be suppressed. You see the system for what it is, the fundamental cracks, and the shackles it creates. You are aware of the scars from the past, as well as the opportunities for the future. This will make some people afraid of you. People will try to take advantage of you to use your influence for their own benefit. But they will not succeed. Because history has never repeated itself. You have come to rewrite it. You are their solution, not just the descendants of those who fought. And the future bends towards you. Number 12. You were not cursed because you were foreigners. This was your initiation. They thought it would tear you apart, so they made you a stranger. They pushed you to the edge, misinterpreted and rejected you, assuming that loneliness would swallow you up and isolation would weaken you. But instead of being shattered, you became something unexpected. As you can see, most individuals are afraid of being alone because they have based their entire identity on the approval of others. They depend on the group, on approval, on the cacophony of the world to tell them who they are. And what about you? This was not an option for you. You had to discover who you were in solitude. All you had was your own thoughts, your own soul, and your own desire to improve yourself. Therefore, being an outcast was not a punishment, but an initiation. A sacred process that involves eliminating everything that is false, weak, or dependent on the approval of others. You had to become self-sufficient. While others clung to the crowd, you discovered your way in silence. You molded yourself to be unbreakable, while others molded themselves to fit in. That is why they are not sure what to do with you right now. You are acting in a unique way. You are not looking for approval. You are not seeking approval. You have already overcome rejection, so they cannot use that to control you. And in a way they will never understand. It makes you untouchable. They think you are resentful because you have been excluded, but in reality, it has liberated you from the need to fit in, from the anxiety of being on your own, and from the ability to see, think, and act in ways that others can never see. They sent you outside to silence you, but this has only given you a perspective. From here, you can see everything. The 13th tip is to change the frequency instead of just entering the room. You disturb. You just don't exist. The moment you enter a room, something changes. It has nothing to do with your actions, your words, or even your appearance. This is vitality. This change is inevitable, instantaneous, and, for some, intolerable. They feel you before they even see you. Some people are attracted to anything that doesn't interfere, shrink, or adapt, and They don't know why. Others become rigid, uneasy, as if your very existence is an unspeakable challenge. In a sense it is, because you are dominating the space, not by forcing it, but just by adapting to it, not just occupying it. You don't have to apologize for being who you are, and that alone throws everything out of balance. It has nothing to do with arrogance. It has nothing to do with attention-seeking. You can even try to keep to yourself and be quiet to avoid disturbing others. But that is ineffective. It can never succeed. Because when a person is really in touch with himself, when he has power, knowledge, and an unshakable sense of purpose, it shows up. That makes a difference, and people cannot ignore it, whether they want to or not. You excite and uplift others just by being around you. Your reminder that there is more to life than the superficial joys of daily existence will light a fire in them. Others will feel vulnerable, uneasy, and even defensive, as your presence forces them to confront aspects of themselves that they have been ignoring. The reactions to you are therefore never neutral. You are not here to keep things as they are. You are here to make a difference. People will feel your energy, they will be attracted to it, or they will be repulsed by it. Because you don't just walk into the room, you change the whole frequency. 14th, you have been sent to educate, not to beg for attention. You are not placed here to persuade, to beg for sympathy, or to make others understand you. You have been sent here to live your reality unashamedly and create a stir in those around you. The lesson is only in your presence. Most individuals have spent their entire lives trying to be accepted, understood, and justified to others who should never understand them. But you have never chosen this path. You do not have to argue, prove, or defend. No explanation can adequately express the reality you have. Some will wake up when they hear this. Some will protest when they hear it. However, no one will forget you. You were not created to be together, and you are not for everyone. Your vitality, your knowledge, and your mere presence will upset the illusions that others cling to. You will be noticed by those who are prepared. Their skeletons will feel it. They will learn just by being around you. And those who are not prepared, they will remember you in every situation. This is the difference between someone who is power-hungry and someone who is trying to get attention. Focus is diminished. Power is permanent. Power changes. Crowds are not necessary. Applause is not necessary for you. You don't need validation. After all, you were not brought here to win people over. You were sent here to become legendary. It was not your intention to fit in. You never wanted to be tamed, understood, or controlled. From the moment you arrived, you brought with you something unusual, a changing presence, an energy that subverts, a fire that cannot be extinguished. They tried to silence you, but your silence was more powerful than their words. They tried to tear you to pieces, but every fall made you sharper. They made efforts to ignore you, but you are inevitable. Because you bend this universe, you don't just live in it. Timelines are shifting, illusions are appearing, and souls that should never wake up are waking up. You were chosen not because you are comfortable or easy, but because of your ability to manage fire. Because you have never succumbed to rejection, exile, or time spent alone. You have been trained to do so. Today you act differently. You can recognize dishonesty. You have both the vision of the future and the knowledge of the past. Also, the frequency changes wherever you travel. Some people will be attracted to you. Some people will fear you. Some will do their best to oppose you. However, no one will forget you. Considering that you were not placed here to fit in. You were brought here to break the foundation. If this has affected you in a different way, or if reading this has awakened something in you, you already know what to do. Share this with those who need to hear it, those who are built for more, those who feel differently, by liking and commenting. Subscribe to the channel if you are ready for more inevitable energy shifts, more truth, and more power. This is a call to people who are built for more, not just fulfillment. Turn on alerts so you never miss what's next. Therefore, this is just the beginning.